All right, hi there, YouTube. We're going to talk about the Forest River issues and quality. So, from a distance, it looks really good. We really like it when we looked for almost a year for all of these, and they are. There's a lot of options out there. This one had some great options: double bunks, a spacious bathroom, and everywhere else. But we started having problems with it right out of the bat. Doors not opening, stuff coming apart, stuff not working, and other issues. So we're going to go over some outside issues, and then we're going to go into the inside for the interior issues. So, for instance, to start, come around the sides here, and we'll come to the front axle. So you might notice how hot this one is, and how not hot that one. Well, not is, but got. This is due to that axle not working and this doing all the work for the trailer. I had to increase the gain up to about 8.5, 9, right out of the hole. Called a dealer on it. They told me that I need to learn how to trailer. That's funny because I've pulled 80,000 pounds worth of, well, not pulled, but total 80,000 pounds worth of weight driving semis. So haha at that one. Took it in. They actually found wires broken inside the axle housing that were shorting out straight from the factory, brand new, just like that. So that's why that axle didn't work. So we'll continue on. Front door broke. The locking mechanism broke, and when it broke, they were unable to open the door at all, which entailed them having to break the door in order to get the door open, so that way they could remove this. And having to replace the door, that took about 6 months to get a door, and then another 2 months to get the graphics. Pretty embarrassing. It sucked that we had to use a back door through a bathroom for an entire trip. We used this camper 3 times now. We just got back from our 3rd trip. We've had it 3 times, and we've had quite a few issues, which are very unfortunate for this new of a camper to have such severe issues. See here, these are pitting really bad. I take very good care of it. Everything gets wiped down. All of these gaskets are smashing out and breaking. You can see this one's got a crack on it. And there's, front cap. So if you look real close, look on the front cap here, and you will see cracking all the way up it. And you can see how it channels underneath the silicone here. It all channels underneath. And this is because the whole unit just moves so bad. This is all cracking underneath. Come all the way down. It's like this on both sides. I'll show you the other side. There. Other issues. Look at the cap here. See this? This is from wind. Just from wind. Look at the cap here. Coming apart. Come around to this side. Lo and behold, same thing. All right here. This is just from wind. This thing gets driven at 65 miles an hour. Top. 65 miles an hour. More cracks here. See that? More cracks, more cracks, more cracks, more cracks. And then you can see here, look at this. The silicone stops right here. And then it continues again, way up there. Inspector ID number, just for reference, in case you guys might know who this is or relate to them. Great job. Really great job. Quick side note, wires were like a rat's nest. Unbelievable. I actually went through, loomed everything, heat shrunk everything, sleeved it. Now it looks correct. All of the silicone you can see here is popping out all the way around. So you can see here, look at that. It's all, you got all the silicone here. It's just all popping out. All the silicone's just flapping away. Embarrassing. Come further down. You see more of the silicone here, issues of it just pushing out and falling off as we continue on. This here, from the wind slapping it, you can actually see it in the mirror, just doing this, and now the rivet is even pulled through the metal. That's pretty chintzy. Decals, look at the decals. This here, you see it's just falling apart. Body panel meetup, looks great in the mirror. And again, you can see how that one got hot. That one didn't. See, this rest of this area has actually been good. Not too bad on the back of it. I had some issues with the lights up top just falling off randomly. I think I took care of that. That seems to be okay. The Forest River tire cover is sitting somewhere in the middle of New Mexico now. Have no idea. I just know I lost it in between stopping for fuel. So that's that. Come all the way to this side. Another thing to watch for is the caps where the seals are here. Right there. They were put on too tight from the factory and they actually ripped through. So I found them dangling one day. Another thing is here is the seal on the corner. You're missing a seal cap. There's a corner cap that sits for the seals. That's gone, and the seal there was ripped from the factory. And they've been trying to track it down. Forest Rivers apparently keeps sending the wrong seal every single time. So we'll come across here. The awning. So this last time we were actually able to use our awning because our front door actually worked now, surprisingly. Let me get this open real quick. There we go. All right, so now let me get this awning out real quick and we'll turn on some lights. So now that I was actually able to use the awning, all right, cool at night, cool at night. Well, what's that? That's not so cool. LEDs that don't work. All right, so before I forget, I did forget for a second there. These jacks are horrible. You put them down, units leveled. I got blocks that I put the camper on. These things, when they're down, as they should be until they stop, it sounds like popping on the inside. You'd be laying down, somebody moves or turns in the bed or uses the bathroom, and you just hear pop, pop, pop. It's ridiculous how much, you get these door seals. Look at this, retracting. So this is the sound you get with the stabilizers down. Yeah. So we'll continue on into the inside, We'll get the slide out. We'll turn on some lights in here for everybody to see better. So that being said, we've had a lot of issues with that. Countertop finally got replaced. The trim here is all popping off, and you can still see. All right, it does really well. These trims all had to be re-adhered. They were all falling off. See here, everything up here has been okay. Vents working on the floor, all that stuff. Cabinets, all that have been great. So what happened here is on the countertop, it cracked. Split right here for no reason during transit. We stopped at one stop for boondocking. We do mostly boondocking. And it was just cracked across here. Come to find out there was no support for it by the plywood from the factory underneath here. Dealership took care of this. This was an absolute fiasco to get the countertop finally replaced. Mind you, it's a different color than factory. The beveled edge does not match here. You see it's just kind of squared off real quick and called good. Flush back here, not flush up here, but hey, it looks better than it did because of the crack. That's fine. This back here was nice and tight on the filler panel behind the stove. Over here, you can shove your hand in between it. This came like that from the factory. Unbelievable. The fridge, it was tight all the way around, all the way down, until you got down to the bottom. And this is where it started over here on the lower side. And then it increased all the way to this corner. You could shove your hand inside of here and follow it all the way up until about here it started closing again. I swear it was because of movement. These issues arose because it was after our first trek of 3 days boondocking that we noticed it. You know, this from the factory, there's no way to know. Normally people don't yank on these or nothing like that. You know, you push them closed and they pop. Everything's good. This nub almost didn't exist from the factory. You could tell that there was something maybe there, but it wasn't there. I found out from our first destination when our freezer was jammed up onto the bed and our stuff was everywhere, all over the floor, because of the bad latch. Once again, quality control. Look at this door, right? So, good seam, right? Look at that. I mean, Tesla doesn't do body panels that good and solid all the way down. Now let's look at this. Look at that. Look how high that is with the door latch. Unbelievable. Now let's look at the door. This door latch is already pushed down. It's trying to get as much play out of this as possible, and it's just not. You know, I've loosened those and tried to move them up, and you can tell they even tried to drill a hole correct, but it just doesn't strike. The striker is way in the wrong spot. They had to fix this from the factory here. You could tell it was mitered. It's okay. Dull blade, but hey, whatever. It's fixed. They actually put these in, which are way better than the factory. The factory had like 2 staples on this one and 1 on this one, and you could see, you could shove your hand from the gap between this and the meet-up places. The joints didn't even meet. And it was like that for the top one and the bottom one. Horrible. We've had a lot of panels in here fixed. Our wonderful shower. So this started here on our trek. We noticed on our second trek, I stopped in Maxwell to Boondock, New Mexico. It had a rip about that big in it. Then we got to Deming and it went to here. And then we got to Tucson and it went to here. By the time we made it back home, it was all the way over here. Their silicone is what fixed it. For now, you can see here that these things are not fastened very well at all. They don't put any adhesion behind them, nothing. So everything just constantly slaps and twists and moves. And so that is what was causing the ripping. And you can see down here, even from the factory, that is ripped as well. Constant movement, more tears. Now, let's get to this bad boy. This I had to buy in a hurry. Had a person on travels to Illinois. Thank them for helping us out. Allowed us to have an Amazon package sent with a repaired or a replacement shower head, because the last one blew off and hit our daughters that were in here with the shower. Mind you, they're under 2 because of factory crimping. This was boondocking, and yeah, so this is the second time. The first one, it blew off. I took it into went to, I think it's called Menards or something like that over there, and had a great employee help us out and opened up a $200 crimping die set. These dies or these crimps are so thin they can't actually fully compress. Mind you, I'm a plumber with a decade of experience, so there's that. These are so thin that they couldn't get a proper crimp from the factory, and you see that's factory crimp. So we opened up these die sets, put this in there. We actually put a business card in here to crimp further down on these. This one held great. Got back, put it in that evening, blew off again, hit the kids again. Really wonderful. Sure, it may be a cheap part, but you know, mind you, the camper's out of a year old. So we continue on with more issues with that. The pumps chatter really bad. Sorry for the noise. We got some neighbor getting some furniture. So there's that. Fans work great. Lights have thankfully worked great. The furnace is the biggest thing. On our second, I actually first real trip, because the other one was a shakedown for 3 days. We went to Arizona for almost a month, and the furnace stopped working. Southern Arizona, it actually decided to not get warm. It was a high of 46, and it stayed that way for 2 weeks. So we had to rush to Walmart to get a heater and then start paying for camping, which was not in our plans because we like the boondocking. And trying to run electric heaters on 30 amp service is not fun at all. Not fun. Outside of that, just some other fits and trims and little small things. Microwave has worked great. The oven and the stove look great. It still smells brand new in here because we haven't had the opportunity to use it. I have an opportunity to use it actually twice a month if I want because of my work schedule, which makes it great. So outside of that, I would definitely be advised with looking at all the things that I've highlighted and even more. The water heaters had some slight issues here and there. The electric side's nice and the gas side is nice. But the rod, it looked like it had been used prior to us using it, because after 3 days of being used, I took the anode rod out, and it looked like it was literally covered in acid. There's very little of it left, and that was after 3 days. That's not an excuse. Anode rod should last 3 to 5 years minimum, especially in a residential setting and things like that. Not good quality. If anybody has or needs any questions answered, feel free to ask them. I will gladly speak and tell you of all the issues that we've had over our time owning this. Very disappointed. All the reviews that we had read, I read for almost a year, looking at Jayco, Palomino's, Winnebago's, all of them, and Forest River came out on top for quality control and customer service. And we've had a very large runaround, and we've been through several people at Forest River saying, oh yeah, no problem, this is going to get taken care of. We talked to the dealership and they go, no, they haven't even responded. It's just been a never-ending twisting and turning going around. So thank you for watching my video. If anybody else has any questions, thank you for this time and watching this. And I really hope anybody that sees this and looks at Forest Rivers, they go through an entire unit, very detailed, bring friends, bring family that aren't associated with using it or buying it, so that way they can nitpick the heck out of it. Because mind you, this had a price of over $30,000 when we were looking at it. So thank you for your time. Have a great day.